Hey guys, Mitch here with the AudioDabbler YouTube channel, and I'm going to take a look at Xynthesizer. I don't think I've done a video on it, and it's currently got a beta version out that he's implementing Ableton Link, and so far it is one of the better implementations of Ableton Link, but that's not what I'm going to look at today. I'm just going to kind of just go over what it is, because I don't think it gets enough love for what it is. And so let's just kind of look at it. It is a 32 step up to 32 step sequencer, so you can go all the way up to 32 down here, or you can go, just have one. And it's got 22 notes going from bottom to top, and you can adjust those notes by clicking on the sequence section, and it brings up a little dialog box. I just love how it's kind of designed. It's you got the grid, but then you want to bring up some menus. You can full menus, and then they just kind of fade away and go away. It's really, really clean and crisp, which is also the sounds that you can get out of this thing. I think is overlooked sometimes. If you go under the sequence, you can do some of the presets, and let's see. Some really, just listen how clear and crisp, like a Granny Smith apple. It's just awesome, I think. But anyway, so yeah, you can do the you got 22 notes going up, and if you click on the sequencer, you can adjust the scale. You can have a chromatic scale if you want to, or you can have any of these that you want, and you can also build in a custom scale just by adding one. You can name the scale, you can add the steps, add a step, and it goes up by semitones, and so you just have to know what kind of scale you want as far as the steps that you want to go up. And you can build in your custom scales if you can't find one that you like. It's got the major modes and harmonic and melodic minors, and then just a whole tone and a couple pentatonic scales. So you can select those, and it'll change the scale type. And then over here you got the key that you're in. So you can select whatever key that you're in, and it'll correspond to the notes on the side here. Octaves, you can go up or down on the octaves. And then you can transpose it, which basically just moves the root down into the different 1, 2, 3, 4 different modes. I would I would gather. So if you're on a major scale of C, that C is the root right here. Let me go up here to C, but if I go up 1, then D becomes the root, and that becomes the, I think it's Dorian, Ionian, Dorian, Lydian, whatever the mode is. And so you can go up, actually you can go up all 7 modes on whenever you're in a major scale. And that the 6th one is the minor scale, and so so it just transposes up. And what that kind of is fun to do is, if you have something going, you can kind of change the key on the fly, keep the same pattern. I'm just going to change the notes. And you can do the same thing, and it'll just change it on the fly. As soon as you hit it, it'll change the note. So that's really good when doing some different kind of performances, or if you're recording in some MIDI, sending MIDI out, because this will do MIDI out. You can tie notes together, so if you can string them together in sequence, and if the tie notes is on, it'll only play one note and leave the other ones out, so it'll kind of extend the notes. One of the really good features to this app is the morphing. Now the life is insane. It's all about birth rates and death rates. The birth rate rule name, let's do, I don't know, free birth rate of 1 and 7, 1 and 3. And so if we got a birth rate, we can up the chances of it changing. It should be changing. Let's see. There we go. And it'll just grow and contract and just get completely wild and crazy. I haven't fooled with the birth rate too much, or it's called life. It's got a couple built-in ones that that work pretty good. But what I really like is just this random feature. And so you can do random. You can change the chance of change up to, like, say you just do 50%, and you don't want them to move too much. I don't want them to move it all on the X, and I just want them to move, like, up to 5 on the Y axis. And so I clear the sequence, and so I can just drag all the way across here. Press play, and then watch. Everything should change here in just a... And it'll just continuously randomize, 40, 50%, or however much you choose. You can go up to 100% and have every one of them change every time, or you can just have a slight variation. And this is really good. I've done this before and sent it into Ableton Live and just recorded a long set of notes, and then you can chop up kind of the MIDI that you want, or you could send it into an app and record the audio, and then you could just chop up the bits and pieces, the little sequences that you do like. And so that's another option to be able to use it. I am colorblind, and I do have a little bit of trouble sometimes distinguishing some of these colors, but so if I go here and go to like a major pentatonic, you can see they're kind of broken up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little colored sections. And where that comes into play is if I go enable MIDI, I may enable channel mapping. What I can do is I can send, based on the color, what note goes to what MIDI channel. And so you could essentially sequence 22 notes. You could have the bass down here, you could have some pads up top, you kind of have some chords in between these two sections right here. You could do a whole song like that. And what's cool about that is if you had the bass going and you go back to the sequence section where you can do the morph, you can do a custom area. And so if you only wanted the melody to change, then you got this area selected, and when I press play, that's a horrible example, but only this section right here is going to be affected by the morphing, and everything else is going to stay the same. So you could have a nice bass line going down here at the bottom section of lower octaves, and then have the melody constantly changing, so you get some consistency but yet some variation. So really complex. And let me see what else, if I've missed anything. You can save. It's got some songs, and then it's got some nice presets, and you can you can save your on if you want after you've playing around. Haven't really even hit on the synth. It's pretty simple. It's 2 oscillators, and you can adjust the levels of each of the oscillators. It's got filters and amp envelopes as normal. And so if you're kind of just new to synthesis, this is, fairly an easy way to get into, building some custom, just playing around with some of the custom sound. Let me turn the MIDI off and just play around for a minute. And so you can kind of hear the different waveforms and how, the octave that it's on. You can do the intervals. You can detune it a little bit. Just detuning it just kind of broadens it out a little bit. You got the standard ADSR down at the bottom. You got a nice delay. You got a couple LFOs that you can modulate. The filter, the pitch, the amp envelope, or the oscillator 2. I don't know what that is. Maybe I should look that up. Which does remind me, it has a pretty nice built-in user manual. If you can see that on the screen. And so let's go look at LFO 1 and 2. And so pitch detune of the second oscillator, same as detune slider and the OSC2 section. And so that oscillator detuned is what that is. So you can do the pitch, filter pitch, amp envelope, and the oscillator detuned. See? Even I learn something when I do my own videos. So it's just really crisp and clean app that you can just do a lot with. I am excited. What test I've done with the Ableton Link has been fairly spot on. I haven't had any issues with it. One of the better implementations, and I can't wait for it to be released, and all you guys out there who have it or don't have it can enjoy the benefits of just Xynthesizer, because it is just so amazing. Such a cool, fun little app, that can do some really generative kind of stuff. And so with that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe for more. If you want to support good content on YouTube, just support me on Patreon. Patreon.com/TheAudioDabbler. I will leave a link in the description and a link to purchase this app. So I will talk to you guys later.